All right, everyone, welcome back to the Real Deal Durham Podcast. In today's topic discussion, we're going to discuss the difference between a transactional agent and a fiduciary agent. Now, again, they're both real estate agents, but I kind of want to break down the differences so that, again, when you're out there in the market, whether you're working with myself or another agent, you're making the best decisions possible and getting in front of the realtor or real estate professional who's going to best service you and your needs. So why don't we get into it? So the first thing I kind of wanted to go over is the difference between a transactional and a fiduciary agent. So if we're talking about a transactional agent, they're all about facilitating the transaction. They pretty much just want to see you grab the paper, move it to the buyer, move it to the seller's agent, and get that deal closed. They act as more of an intermediary between buyers and sellers, and they don't really feel the need to prioritize your needs, your interests, or even the best outlook for you as a client. They make their money more on the volume of the sale. Now, if you transition over to a fiduciary agent, or something that I like to call myself, they're committed to putting the client first at all costs. The client's needs, the client's wants, the client's best interests are always put first when you're working with a fiduciary agent. Now, when you're working with a fiduciary agent, they uphold a certain level of care, loyalty, and confidentiality to you as a client. And this is exactly what you're looking for if you're buying or selling in the Durham region. They're going to offer top level guidance. They're going to advocate for you. They're going to have that expert advice and really guide you through that entire transaction. They're not just there to get the sale done. They're more to make sure that you get exactly what you need out of that real estate decision, whether you're buying or selling, or even just looking for your next real estate purchase. These agents are there to work with you and for you in your best fiduciary interests. Now, the main differences I'm sure you can see here. Transactional agents, man, they're really good at quick, easy deals. They make their money, they get out. Bang, bang, boom. They meet you, shake hands, get you under contract, fire you off to the seller, deal's done, deal's closed, they're on to the next one. And a fiduciary agent, now they might be a little bit slower. They'll get to know you a little bit, take you on a date, wine and dine, that whole good thing. But they're really focused on the relationship between you and the agent to then go forward to make the transaction. The transaction always comes second and the client always comes first. That's why I myself definitely identify as a fiduciary agent, and I hope clients get to work with more of those agents rather than the transactional ones. Now, again, I think there's a time and place for a transactional agent. Maybe you're a little bit more experienced. This is your third, fourth, or fifth home, or you're a sophisticated investor. Sure, a transactional agent might be great. But if you're looking for someone to really, take your best interest, identify your needs, be able to help you through the process, problem solve, expert advice, you definitely want to be working with a relationship-focused fiduciary agent to help you through the process there. Now, why would you choose a fiduciary agent if you're buying or selling a home in the Durham region? Now, the first thing I would say is the expert negotiation and representation. Like I said, the transactional agent, they're trying to get in, get out, get your money, and move on to the next client. They make their money on volume. But again, when we're talking about the fiduciary agent, they're going to have that in-depth market knowledge. They're going to know about the bad streets in Oshawa. They're going to know about, the Joe Blow drug user who always frequents this area. Even though the prices are low, it might not be exactly the property that you're looking for. They're dedicated to securing the best property for you. Not the best property in general, the best property for you. If they know you need a 4-bed with 2 bathrooms because you have a growing family, they're not going to stick you into a 3-bedroom, 1-bath and say, hey, you guys can figure it out. They're really working to make sure the property that you purchase or the way that you sell your property fits your needs and actually gets the job done, not just get the sale done so they can make their commission there. Another thing you're going to get with a fiduciary or relationship-focused agent is you're going to get personalized guidance and support. They're going to take the time to understand the client's needs, the preferences, and goals. Really, they're going to sit down with you and they're going to actually talk, have that conversation, because at the end of the transaction, you want to think of these agents more as a friend or close colleague rather than someone who just signed a bunch of papers and got you into your next property. Again, they're focused on that relationship. Another thing they'll do is they'll offer you that tailored advice and recommendations through the process. Now, let me give you a quick example here. So if you're, let's say you're a beginner investor or you're someone looking at house hack here, a tailored approach would be looking for a property that has proper ceiling heights, a separate entrance, and meets the qualifications of a property that you could turn into a legal duplex or a legal second suite. Now, on the other hand, if you're looking for let's say a luxury property, you're not going to get the same kind of approach. A fiduciary relationship focused agent is going to look at you a little bit differently, put you into a different neighborhood, or maybe even expand their buy box to make sure that luxury property that you're looking for is going to be what's brought to you. It's not like a cookie cutter approach. You just fill out this form and we'll go see some properties that match. They take that extra time to make sure they know exactly what you need and get you exactly into that product that you want. Now, the final thing here is that they mitigate risks and avoid pitfalls. When you work with a transactional agent, they just hope that this deal closes so they can move to the next one. They don't want to go through any home inspection problems, financing issues, something with the seller at the end. They don't want any part of that. But a relationship fiduciary agent really wants to walk you through right to the end. If there's anything that comes up with the financing, they're there to jump on it. If there's anything that comes up in the home inspection or anything that comes up with some of the seller's conditions, they're there to avoid pitfalls and mitigate your risks. They're not going to let you sign or put forth conditions that put you in a vulnerable situation. They're going to protect your best interests at all times to make sure the transaction goes exactly the way that you need it to go and make sure you get into the best property possible. Again, it's that professional guidance to help you navigate these complex transactions. Because I don't know if you've seen an Ontario agreement of purchase and sale, but that thing is long. It's got a lot of words, a lot of places to sign. And as a fiduciary relationship agent, they're going to walk you through that whole thing. Maybe not line by line, because again, who's going to sit there and listen to that? But again, they're going to give you every main point so that you feel as comfortable as possible when you go through and make that transaction. When you're working with an agent, or if any clients that work with me, they know exactly what's coming next. It's not that anxiety or nervous feeling like, oh, I don't know what I'm signing, or I don't know the next steps. They're really going to sit with you and work with you to make sure that you're prepared, and they reduce your anxiety to make sure that when you're going into these transactions, you know what's going on and you can have the best outcome possible. And finally, they're going to minimize potential legal and financial risk associated with real estate deals. Now, this is a topic or a point that I don't know if everyone takes, this is a point that I don't know if everyone takes so seriously. Like an agreement of purchase and sale, that's a legally binding contract. Now, I've done a number in my days through my investing and through my real estate career, but that's a legally binding document. I don't think it's something you should just sign your name to willy-nilly. When you're going through this, a real estate professional or fiduciary agent that's focused on the relationship will make sure that you're signing something you're comfortable with. And if you're not, they're going to do things, maybe speak with your lawyer, consult a paralegal to make sure that everything in that agreement is exactly the way you want it. That one, protects you, and two, is going to make sure you get to the finish line with avoiding any legal or financial risk. So that's actually the important part when you're working with them. Because it's very easy to sign your name, but you want to make sure you're signing your name to something that you're proud of and that you can stand behind. So make sure you're watching out when you're working with your agents there. Now, the last thing I wanted to bring up on this topic is how can you, as a client or a buyer or a seller, identify that you're working with a fiduciary relationship focused agent? Well, first thing, you gotta ask the right questions. Now, a couple questions you wanna ask. You wanna ask about the agent's obligations, how they prioritize clients, and how they manage their business. If they can't give you the time of day and they just want you to sign, walk the property and put an offer in right away, might not be the most relationship focused agent for you. You want to assess the agent's knowledge, their experience, their commitment to you, their commitment to their craft, and their commitment to the business. And again, if they don't take this seriously, I don't think you should take them seriously as well. When you find a good relationship fiduciary agent, they're going to make sure that not only they win you over, but they focus on these relationships and show you that knowledge, experience, and commitment to make sure that you reach a real estate goal. And a couple other questions you can ask as well is you ask for credentials, affiliations, designations, awards. All that stuff's great to get an idea of how they run their business and how efficient are they with other clients as well. You can also look at their track record, maybe Google reviews, Facebook reviews, or just talk to some past clients that they have to get a really good idea of how that agent handles their business and how they're going to handle you as a client. The last thing you want to do is you want to take a time to actually consult with them and see if they actually are a fit for you. Like, I'm a big sports guy, so sometimes you find a player who you think might be the best fit to your team, but once they come in, they practice, they work out, you're like, this might not be a good fit. The same thing is here when you're dealing with a real estate agent. You want to make sure you establish that level of trust. You want to make sure they're compatible, they're responsive, the communication style matches what you're doing there. What I do with my buyers and my seller clients is we do what we call buyer or seller presentations. That's where we sit down, we go over the process, whether they're buying or they're selling, while we lay out some of the benefits of working with us as well as the process. So 1, we relieve anxiety. 2, we build that relationship. And 3, we make sure that we're compatible so that when we go into this transaction, whether it's a buy or a sell, that everybody's on the same page and that relationship holds strong the entire time. Trust and rapport are the most essential part here. So again, if your agent's not giving you the service, maybe they're more of that transactional volume focused agent and not the relationship agent that you need, want, and quite honestly deserve. Remember, we're making the right decisions here with real estate. This whole podcast and everything I do is about inspiring those to make the best decisions possible in real estate. So it's crucial to have a knowledge, trustworthy, relationship-focused agents to make all the difference. Now, if you're looking to transact in the Durham region or the surrounding areas, I'd love to help you out. Comment, DM, call me, all that good stuff. I'd be happy to help you out. And hey, if you're looking for afar, I know some great agents in Ontario who would be happy to help you. Again, get in those comments and DMs, and I'd be happy to share those contacts with you. This is the Real Deal Durham Podcast, everyone, and we'll be right back.